Hello, today we will be learning how to solve linear programming problems. There are 5 simple steps to solving linear programming problems consistently. First, it is important to identify the variables, restraints, and profit relation equation. Next, graph the inequalities. Find your points in the area given and plug the values to either maximize or minimize the output. Okay, so here's our problem. A calculator company produces a scientific calculator and a graphing calculator. Long-term projections indicate an expected demand of at least 100 scientific calculators and 80 graphing calculators. Each day, because of limitations on production capacity, no more than 200 scientific calculators and 170 graphing calculators can be made daily. To satisfy a shipping contract, a total of at least 200 calculators must be shipped that day. If each scientific sold results in a $2 loss and each graphene sold produces $5 profit, how many of each should be made daily to maximize net profits? As we have previously learned, variables are values that are unknown. In this particular case, we are going to be using x and y, which is the number we are trying to find. Because of this, you can often find the variables in the last sentence of the question, where it tells you specifically what it is asking for. Constraints are going to be found within the sentences. However, you can most always assume with these story problems that the first 2 constraints exist. You cannot make a negative amount of calculators. In this particular problem, these constraints can be ruled out because the company has to produce at least 100 scientific and 80 graphing calculators. The next 2 constraints are going to be x is less than 200 and y is less than 170 because of the fact that the company can only produce at most 200 scientific and 170 graphing calculators daily. The last constraint is going to be x plus y is greater than 200 because to satisfy the shipping contract, the company has to produce at least 200 of both of the types of calculators combined. Although this equation is not going to be used until the end of the problem, it is important to identify it. This is the equation that you will use in the end to maximize or minimize the company's profit. This depends on what the question asks of you. Next, we have to graph the constraints. After graphing the constraints, we can see where the maximizing or minimizing profits would be, which is going to be in the corner of the shaded area. So now we are going to find the points of each corner. After finding the corner points, we are going to use the profit relation equation to maximize or minimize the profit. As we can see here, the first point gives us the highest profit for. In conclusion, the answer needs to be written in sentence form, just like the problem. So in this case, the answer to our problem is going to be, in order to maximize profit, the calculator company needs to produce 100 scientific and 170 graphing calculators.
Created using Powtoon.